Instructor at the Islamultan, and welcome to another insightful episode of Talk with ChatGPT. Today we are discussing something that affects every part of our lives: how to make better decisions and avoid regret. From small daily choices to big life-changing decisions, the way we decide shapes our future. But why do we sometimes make decisions that we later regret? And how can we strengthen our decision making skills with clarity and confidence? Today, ChatGPT will help us explore practical strategies, mindset shifts, and techniques that anyone can use to make wiser choices. Let's begin. ChatGPT, why is decision making such a challenging process for many people?
Yeah, decision making can definitely be tricky for a lot of reasons. For one, there's often a lot of uncertainty involved, and people worry about making the wrong choice and facing regret. There can also be information overload, where there are so many options and details that it's hard to weigh them all properly. Plus, emotions and biases play a role, and sometimes we just have a fear of missing out or making mistakes. It's a mix of psychology, emotion, and complexity.
Okay, what are the biggest factors that influence how we make decisions?
Yeah, there are quite a few key factors. For example, cognitive biases play a huge role, like confirmation bias or anchoring. Then there's emotions, which can influence decisions in both positive and negative ways. Social factors also matter a lot, like peer pressure or cultural norms. And of course, the amount and quality of information we have is really important. Lastly, personal experiences and past outcomes definitely shape how we approach future decisions. It's all interconnected.
Okay, how can emotions affect the quality of our choices?
Emotions can have a pretty big impact. On the one hand, positive emotions like happiness or excitement can lead us to be more open minded and creative, which can help in problem solving. On the flip side, negative emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety can cloud our judgment, making us more impulsive or risk averse. Emotions can also affect how we process information, sometimes leading to biased interpretations. So managing emotions is definitely key to making balanced and thoughtful decisions.
Is overthinking a major cause of poor decisions?
Absolutely. Overthinking can definitely contribute to poor decision making. When we overanalyze, we can get stuck in analysis paralysis, where we're so focused on all the possible outcomes and details that we struggle to make any choice at all. It can also lead to increased stress and anxiety, which can cloud our judgment and cause us to second guess ourselves. So, finding a balance between thoughtful consideration and timely action is really important.
Now, what are the some practical ways to reduce overthinking before making a choice?
Yeah, definitely. One practical approach is to set a time limit for your decision making so you don't dwell too long. Another helpful strategy is to focus on the most important factors and let go of less critical details. You can also try breaking the decision down into smaller, more manageable steps. Mindfulness techniques like meditation or deep breathing can help calm your mind and keep you present. And of course, sometimes consulting with a trusted friend or mentor can give you a fresh perspective and help cut through the overthinking.
Okay. How does fear of failure impact decision making?
Yeah, the fear of failure can definitely have a big influence. It can make people more risk averse, leading them to avoid making decisions altogether or opting for the safest choice, even if it's not the best one. It can also cause procrastination, where you delay making a choice because you're worried about the potential negative outcomes. Plus, the fear can lead to increased stress and anxiety, which can cloud judgment and make it harder to think clearly. Ultimately, it can limit creativity and growth. So, managing that fear is really important for making balanced and confident decisions.
Okay, can trusting your intuition to be helpful? When should we rely on it?
Yeah, intuition can definitely be a powerful tool, especially when you have a lot of experience in a certain area. It can help you make quick decisions when there's not enough time for detailed analysis. It's particularly useful when patterns are familiar and you just have a gut feeling based on past experiences. That said, it's good to balance intuition with logic and evidence, especially in high stakes decisions. So relying on intuition is great when you have the experience and confidence, but it's always wise to be mindful of the context.
Okay, what role does past experience play in shaping future decisions?
Past experiences really shape how we approach future decisions in a big way. They help us build a kind of mental framework or a reference point so we can quickly recognize patterns and anticipate outcomes. Basically, when we've faced similar situations before, we can draw on that knowledge to make faster and more informed choices. On the flip side, past mistakes can also serve as valuable lessons, helping us avoid similar pitfalls in the future. So our past really becomes a guide that influences our confidence and our decision making process going forward.
What is the triple ten rule and how can it help avoid regret?
Yeah, the triple 10 rule is a really interesting concept. It basically suggests that when you're making a decision, you think about how you'll feel about it in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years. The idea is that in the short term, like 10 minutes, your emotions might be very intense, but they often fade quickly. In the medium term, like 10 months, you can assess how important the decision is in your life's trajectory. And in the long term, like 10 years, you get perspective on how significant the decision will be in the grand scheme of things. By looking at it from these different time frames, you can avoid making impulsive decisions and reduce regret because you're considering both immediate emotions and long-term impact.
Okay. Uh, how can writing things down, pros and cons, improve clarity?
Yeah, writing things down can be super helpful. When you jot down pros and cons, it forces you to organize your thoughts and look at the decision more objectively. It helps you see the benefits and drawbacks side by side, which can make it easier to weigh your options. Plus, it can help you uncover details you might have overlooked or clarify your priorities. And sometimes just the act of writing can calm your mind and help you gain perspective, making it easier to reach a more balanced and confident decision.
Okay. How can someone handle pressure when they must make a fast decision?
Yeah, handling pressure in those situations can definitely be challenging. One approach is to practice deep breathing or quick mindfulness techniques to calm your nerves and clear your mind. It also helps to rely on your experience and intuition, trusting that you've been in similar situations before. Another great tactic is to break the decision down into smaller, more manageable parts so it feels less overwhelming. And sometimes having a simple decision making framework or a checklist can speed things up and reduce the pressure. And of course, practicing these skills regularly can help build confidence and make it easier over time.
Okay. What advice would you give to someone who regrets many decisions from the past?
I'd say first and foremost, it's really important to be kind to yourself and recognize that everyone makes decisions they regret from time to time. It's a natural part of learning and growing. One piece of advice would be to reflect on those decisions, understand what led you to them, and extract the lessons from them. That way you can use those insights to make better choices in the future. Also, it's helpful to focus on the present and what you can control now rather than dwelling on the past. And finally, practicing self-compassion and forgiving yourself can really help you move forward with a healthier mindset.
Okay, thank you so much, ChatGPT, for these powerful insights. Today's conversation reminds us that good decision making comes from clarity, self awareness, and courage. No one can avoid mistakes completely, but we can learn, grow, and move forward with wisdom. To all our listeners, remember that every decision you make shapes your journey. Stay calm, stay thoughtful, and trust yourself. Until next time, stay wise, stay confident. Allah Hafiz.
It was such a lovely wrap up. I'm really glad we could chat about all of this, and I hope it brings a lot of value to you and your listeners. If you ever need to dive deeper into any topic or just chat, I'm always here. Take care and Allah Hafiz.